Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another episode of the King's Court. As you all know, I'm your host, George Brown, and my co-host is none other than Mandus Buckle. Mandus, what up?
I'm pumped up, George, like I always am. Things are going good. Um, Nationals was exciting. Um, and I can't remember a show. Well, I can't. The last time I was at Nationals and things were that exciting was 2015 when none other than Sergio Olivo Jr. won the overall. Um, that was a big time show. That was a big time win. I know it wasn't a men's physique division, but when you talk about the impact of a show and the energy and excitement at that show, wow, this past weekend was the best I've ever seen since 2015 when the super heavyweights were battling. So it was great to be there. It was great to see what was happening.
Yeah, man. It was a new stage. This is my second year only going down, and it clearly was a big difference from last year to this year. Like you said, the energy definitely was there. Miami's always nice, always, but bigger than that, guys came out. They were in shape. They competed, and I think that they made the right choice in overall winner, which is Patrick Martin. But the show, man, just overall. It was a lot of people, but it was well ran, and I'm definitely. I mean, how can you top it? With the ending that I had with the bodybuilders. But
Y-
go ahead.
George, I think you touched on something. It was a whole new set. It was a new expediting team, the best in the business. And when you go to a show that big, you want to see this massive production, and that's what you got to see. It's the last show of the year, it's the biggest show of the year. Athletes work hard all year for years to get to be on that stage. And boy, they gave them an opportunity. The backdrop was different, the big screen TVs going up, everything was now digital. It was something for your eyes to see. I can only imagine being an athlete, being at their first national show, and that's what they got to experience. They'll
Man,
never forget it. They'll
yeah,
never forget it. Now, how do you even prepare for something like that? We'll touch on that a little bit later in the
yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man. So, like I touched on earlier, our overall winner was Patrick Martin. But let's talk about like he's going to be our guest today, Patrick Martin. You'll see. But let's talk about the overall impact of the overall winner for the Nationals or just any national show going into the IFBB. Let's touch
Yeah,
on that.
you know, I think when we're looking at the men's physique division, it's been around long enough to where when guys get a pro card, they need to take time to make improvements before they can have a real impact on the pro stage. Um, just like most other divisions, um, there's just a lot more development that they need into their physiques to battle guys like yourself, Brandon Hendrickson, Andre Ferguson, Raymond Edmonds, so on and so forth. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't be respectable, but it's hard. Now, the overall winners, though, that's supposed to be the best of the best, the cream of the crop. So those guys should be a lot closer to being able to make an impact. So let's just touch on some of the overall winners at some of the big shows the last couple years. So now this particular show, Nationals, you've got uh, 2016 was Godfrey, 2017 was Jamal Hill. I'm sorry, 2018 was Jamal Hill. 2017 was Akeem Scott. Well, we know Akeem Scott has made an instant impact
Hmm.
in the IFBB. Not too many other guys there have made a huge impact, but we see the 2017 overall winner, Akeem Scott, is a if he's not a tier one pro yet, but he's a very strong tier two,
Yeah,
no doubt. Who could be a tier one guy, who I think would be expected to be a tier 1 guy this year. When you look at junior nationals, that's been a show. You got 2016 was Chirac Shabazz. He's been in the mix ever since. 2017 was Stephen Cow, and 2018 was Anthony Gilks. All three of those guys are heavy hitters in the IF. They're
Yes.
all legitimate pros in the IFBB Pro. So we're starting to see, hey, does it matter if you win a class or you come in second in your class or you win an overall? With those names, the overall makes a difference. Let's look at another show, USA's. You had Smothers in 2016. You had Chiron in 2017. Another top line guy.
They just finished 1-2 at the Legion.
So does it matter if you win the overall? Definitively. You are the best of the best, and you are much closer to that caliber of physique that you need to have to make immediate impacts on the pro stages. So I would say when guys are looking at where they fit in and how much time they need, maybe they should start looking at themselves compared to their peers who were even in the same show or did a show right before them or right after them, junior nationals, junior USAs, nationals, USAs, before they look way ahead and look at the guys who are pros and comparing themselves to the top 5, because that's just not fair. That's just not fair.
Yeah, it's not. And it's hit or miss with the overall winner. I think. I mean, the numbers are right there. We reeled off some guys, but there was also some names that we didn't know. But I think more so down the line now, as far as the evolution of the league, if you get an overall now, it just depends. Like I said, I mean, depends on the show. It depends on what the look of the league is. It
I
depends
don't know,
on.
George. I'll give you a couple more names and
Okay,
see
give
if
me some. Give
maybe
me some.
see if maybe you change your mind.
Because you said impact, right? So
Junior
yeah, we've heard.
USA's
Okay, go ahead.
2016 Witherspoon, 2018 Corey Morris, Universe, 2018 Brian Lloyd. These are all guys who have either made it to the Olympia in the last few years or are knocking on the door of making it to the Olympia right away. So we see a definitive difference if you win that overall, rather than guys who finish first in their class or second in their class. Because we just named off about 10 known
Yeah,
IFBB
yeah.
pros who have been
10
highly
known,
successful in the pro league.
10 known, but 2 really that have made an impact. You said an impact. And out of all of those names, I got Anthony Gilks, right?
Impact.
Got 2, right? Then I got a King. That's 3 wins. How many wins? Everybody else after that, they made a splash.
Chiron.
Okay, yeah, of course, Chiron. Yeah.
Corey Morris, Olympia.
Okay, he made it to Olympia, definitely.
So, well, I mean, if you made it to the Olympia, you're making an impact.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You definitely have to say that. Yeah, I was just saying when I say impact, I mean like, top 10 at the Olympia.
Well, sure. Sure.
And the guys that I named were top 10 at the Olympia. Well,
would we call that elite status though? Now?
Okay, yeah.
Top 10.
Okay.
Or if you're top 5 or 6 are elite.
Okay.
Top 10 in the world is pretty good considering we're probably looking at thousands of men.
Yes. Yeah. You
made it to the
So
Olympia.
if you make the Olympia, it's an impact. Yeah. I agree.
You've made an impact.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody. I was just I was going to elite when I was supposed to just only go.
As usual, I won that point.
Impact. All right, look. So we talk about national shows. How do you prepare? You were saying like, how do you prepare for a national show? What do you expect? And you, as this show goes, you don't know what to expect. You don't know if the venue could change, and then now all of a sudden this is huge production. So what do you think?
Well, George, herein lies leadership, direction, camp, homework. So If I'm a regional level athlete and I'm headed to my first national show, I better have done my homework. I better have gone to a national show at some point. I better have a trainer or a coach or a mentor in my corner who
But
has
we said your first national show.
right, right,
So yeah,
absolutely.
okay. Oh,
I
you mean
better
like
have
actually gone and
right,
watched?
go and
Okay,
watch.
okay,
Are
all right.
you kidding me? Before I ever competed on a big stage, I was at Junior Nationals in Chicago soaking it up every year. That date was marked on my calendar. I wanted to go and watch the you couldn't talk to me when the light heavyweights and the heavyweight bodybuilders were on stage because I was doing my homework. And that's what most bodybuilders do. How many men's physique guys are out there doing? Go to a show. There's enough national shows where you can make a trip out and see what's going on stage. Besides that, you better have someone in your camp, be it your trainer, your best friend, your mentor, your coach, whoever understands the flow of these shows. And what I mean by that is here's a simple change from last year to this year. Last year, Nationals prejudging on Friday started at noon. This year, it started at 10 a.m. Some people say, "Well, I don't notice a difference." Are you kidding me? If you've been there before, you would notice 2 hours difference is a huge differential. Where's your tanning at? What hotel are you staying at? How far from the venue if you're not at the host hotel? What tanning company are you using? Are they there at the host hotel or not?
Yeah,
What do you have to go to your meeting, or do you just do your check-in? What time are check-ins at? Are you on Friday or are you on Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah,
You know,
that's all matters.
all of these things are things that you need to learn, but not only learn, but then not be stressing out about it. So
True.
if you're at your very first show and you've never gone to a show and you don't have a coach or a mentor or a friend who can tell you this is how the flow of the show goes, how well prepared are you going to be? Not
Uh,
very, not
nah,
very.
nah.
And, and I'm not saying guys can't do well.
Yeah, of course.
We know that Akeem didn't know much of any of that, but he
Yeah,
was a genetic freak. He's an anomaly.
yeah,
Uh, I, I'd be willing to say that if you talk to Chiron, he did know a lot of that information. He was a West Coast guy. He comes from a camp that they've been to show. So he
yeah,
was probably far more prepared than other guys. So you can see a definitive advantage from people who do homework, who have
yeah,
the right people in their camp, compared to somebody who really has no idea what they're going to do. All they're there for is to hope they have a good experience. And why would you spend all that money and all that time and all that effort to hope you have a good experience? Do your homework.
yeah. I mean, you can watch a show like The King's Court and get all of the information that you just provided. Definitely could do that.
That is
'Cause
another
I think,
avenue.
listen, right there, you laid it out. I got to give it to you. But I think on their side, maybe they don't know. They're just ignorant, to it, and it's just like, you may go in and they might not even know a diet. They just know they want to do men's physique. They may have.
Ignorance is bliss, George.
Definitely it is. That's what I'm saying. So you can go in and you can have a great time. Trust me, I didn't know a lot when I went to my first national show. I didn't know anything. And it was like I said, when people ask me what was my funnest show, I almost would say 2013 Pittsburgh Pro Am because I did not know anything. I didn't know who anybody was, and I was just there, and it was one of the funnest shows that I've ever done. But when you do your homework and you are prepared, then you don't make the mistakes. And it's the mistakes that prevent you from getting the placings or getting that pro card. So that's why to this day I tell people to cross your T's and dot your I's. It does not matter if you make all of the right choices and you turn pro. If you're going to continue to do the same thing, except for even tighten up even more on the small things. And for some reason, people think you can skip those. And what they find out is that the top guys who year in and year out continue to do what they do is because they cross the T's and they dot the I's.
George, when a guy knows how to prepare himself for a national level show, is there much different than to prepare yourself for a pro show?
No,
It's the
no,
same, it's the
it's
same
more the
gig,
same.
guys.
Yeah,
Same gig. You got to do your homework. You got to know the venue. You got to know the
time.
where all the timings and the tannings and the restaurants and the
Yeah,
hotel venues and all of that. But again, that goes into I like to call. We talk about it. 7 P's. Proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. If you are not getting yourself prepared for what you're going to be doing at a show, at the event, you're fooling yourself. And what you learn as an experience at your national show are the same things you're going to carry over to when one day you become a pro and go and do a pro show, because it's not like regional shows where you drive to the venue anymore. It's not in your backyard. The national show and the pro shows, you're flying or driving out of
yeah.
state to another place to get yourself ready. So, do these guys know how to fly with their food? Do they know how to find a grocery store near them to get
How are
certain
you
things?
getting around when you get there?
These are all things that guys need to understand so they can be best prepared, so they can present the best version of their physique on stage on that given day. You've worked your butts off for weeks, months, and years on end. Don't skip the stuff that is equally as important that maybe you just don't think makes that much of a difference.
Well, I think that we provided a lot of nice information. We will go to commercial break. And when we come back, we will have your NPC National overall winner, Patrick Martin. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back from the commercial break. And we have our special guest, Patrick Martin. He is the overall men's physique champion at the NPC Nationals. Pat, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Trying to take everything in. Just, I guess, making that adjustment from just training and doing that in Miami, man. It's a big deal.
All right, so where are you from?
I'm from a small town in Arkansas,
Okay,
Arkansas originally, and
okay,
so I traveled around as a welder. Ended up in Texas and ended up in New Mexico.
okay. All right. How long you been competing?
This would be my fourth year.
Okay, all right.
Fourth year
So
competing.
it ain't no instant success thing. You've been working.
Yeah, man. I started out. It was crazy. I was in a gym and just lifting, and a bodybuilder walked up to me and he said, "How far out are you?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm just a welder. He was like, "You look
Yeah.
like you're ready for a show." And I said, "No, it's just what I do for fun, you know." He's like, "You should think about it." And I never stopped after that.
Okay. All right. How old are you?
33.
Okay. All right. Mandus, what you got?
Patrick is a big man.
Absolutely.
Uh, so, Patrick, give us your stats, what you were on the weekend of the show, and give us your stats ballpark of what you kind of comfortably walk around at off season.
Weight just hanging out normally. Um, Anywhere between 245 and 247 on a heavy day.
And what were you the weekend of the show?
The weekend of the show, I think I got down to about 217,
And how tall
Damn.
are you, Patrick?
6'2".
Okay.
6'2". We're ushering. Hey, Ray.
Raymond
Ray.
Avenue.
Ray, are you there? Mr. Olympia, Ray Montez. You have ushered in the era of the big man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All should be thanking you, sir, for what you. Uh, George, when he came out to do the interview, I was like, "Good Lord, this is a big dude." Look, you got down to 217 because you were shredded, but you got hard, dense muscle. you could see that you're not a 23, 24-year-old that soft, fluffy, cute muscle. Uh, you're dense, man. There's been work that's been put into that physique, and it shows. Not only on stage, but standing next to you. You can see the difference in the quality of the muscle. So I think it's going to be real interesting to watch you over the next year or two on and how that translates into your success on a pro stage. Because I could see you in the mix relatively quickly.
And one thing that I do take very seriously is my training. Um, my food as well, but my training, like you said, just over time, being able to create uh, a mature, dense, thick, grainy muscle with the right amount of definition, the
Yeah.
right amount of graininess. I've had that, but when I added in the mix a really legit diet, a really strict training protocol, it worked out and my body's responsive. So it does what it needs to do when it needs to do it.
Who do you work with?
Right now, Zach Savoya has been my last one, two, three, my last three shows. I done one
Okay.
small one in Austin, Texas for a sponsorship, which I won. I done El Paso NPC prior, and then this show, and he's been with me all three.
Okay. All right. Uh, you said he was your trainer. Um, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, man.
It's interesting because you can see when, even though you've been training for 4 years, really 4 years is still relatively new to a sport where you love training, you love working out, you love being an athlete. But now when you put in the more specific and detailed understanding of volume, of food, of training splits, of an off season versus an on season, doing multiple shows, these are things that only time can teach you. So as you progress here, things are only going to get better and better and better for you.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of people who need to be looking to the left and to the right because you're a locomotive coming down that track, man.
Absolutely, man. I want it to be known. I really appreciate the guys that have paved the way for us to make it possible, for the tall man to get on stage and produce and do good. But I don't want to shy and be like this is a one-hit wonder kind of guy
Yeah.
because I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come in strong, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring a better look to the stage each and every time.
Yeah, I think you definitely. I mean, that's the attitude you have to going in. You were speaking of training. I thought that when you were in the overall competition, your back, man, when you turn around to the back,
Mm,
it wasn't even close.
right.
But what you think took it for you? Just the overall.
Man, from the morning to the night, I'm still fairly new to the stage, so I was kind of complicating things too much in my head. And when I left the morning show, my coach, I'm like begging him for a hamburger, literally, and a Coke. He said,
Yeah.
no, you're going to have, between him and Antone Witherspoon, they said, you're going to have fish and rice. I'm like, Jesus
Okay.
Christ. I woke up tighter, drier, grainier than I was in the morning. So um, I think a combination of conditioning for sure, um, and obviously my back, my serratus, my abs are always really tight. I do some solid work on my serratus, and just being able to stand there and hold that front pose. I mean, they made
Yeah.
us battle it out. So
So what do you do specifically for your core and your serratus that you think is making such an impact on your physique?
first thing, man, I've been blessed with that, area just naturally, kind of. But like I told somebody else the other day, because they say, oh, it's genetics. Genetics don't get you up at 4 a.m. and doing fasted cardio when you work a 60-hour-a-week job. You know what I mean? So um, I do planks. And I mean, now, a 5-minute plank's easy. So that really helps me keep everything tight and keep the upper part of my body from kind of resting on my diaphragm when I stand there for a long period of time. And my posing is something that will progress over time, but it's definitely been a good solid core has been the background, and it helps me, put air into my diaphragm and give me a better back look as well.
What you said you coming. Where are you coming next?
Man, that's a good question. I got a couple things in mind. I'm definitely not going to be intimidated or um, afraid to step up against the big guys. I think it'd be exciting to see the outcome of a really big show. But my goal for sure is Olympia.
Okay. All right.
100% guaranteed.
You and everybody else, right?
Oh yeah, we all got
Man,
goals.
I thought you was gonna give us something, man. You went all the way around the corner and back the street just to give us the political answer, man. Where you at?
Hell yeah, I know.
Come on, man.
So he's smarter than the average bear.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. He rocked me right to sleep. I'm like, Columbus, I'm here right now. You come.
Big man at 6'2", 220 said, "I got something upstairs too. I ain't George. I ain't going for that one."
Nah.
Absolutely. I'll be ready. Whatever show I decide to do, I will definitely bring my all.
Martin, Patrick, how do you think you're going to be able to manage though, being a full-time blue collar guy? How do you think you're going to be able to manage trying to compete at, say, had to do 3 or 4 or even maybe 5 shows in a year to be able to qualify for that Olympic? I mean, you could win a show and go right in, but most of the time, as a rookie or even in the first couple of years, guys have to compete because there's no way to emulate experience.
Competing. No, there is none.
You just have to compete. And having a schedule in a situation like this, how are you going to be able to manage it? Because there's a lot of guys out there that have a similar situation.
Yeah, man, and it's been for my career, it's probably been one of the most difficult things that I face. Um, on an average work week, I usually work 70 hours. My day starts at 4:45, and it doesn't end till about 5:30 or 7 o'clock sometimes. And then I'm at the gym till 10 or 11, and then I'm home meal prepping. And then, so I have long days, early mornings and late nights. Um, I I believe truly, man, that if you're hungry enough, it doesn't matter what life throws at you, what situation you're in. If you want it bad enough, as bad as I want to step on that stage again, I'll make it work. I have to.
So,
Just
I
so
don't have
you
a
think
choice.
you'll be able to get the time, take off an occasional Friday when you need to travel to whatever cities?
Oh yeah.
Because obviously you're going to have to travel the country to go and compete.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the guys that I compete against sometimes, I think it's a blessing to be able to have enough free time in a day to wake up, eat, train, go back to sleep, take a nap, wake up, eat, and train. It's a blessing when you
oh,
have that
definitely.
much time.
Hey, George, I don't think we're ever going to be able to allow any competitor ever again complain or use their schedule as an
No.
excuse of why. We're just going to play the
Uh,
soundbite. Hey,
yeah.
Patrick, you're going to become real popular. We're just going to play your soundbite over and
Yeah.
over and over and
Like he
over.
said,
Because
it
very few
doesn't matter.
people
I don't
think
give a
they
shit
can
what you
manage
throw
that
at me.
kind of schedule.
Yeah, I'm walking through the fire. I don't care. That's basically what he said.
Right.
You have to, man.
So,
If you
hey,
want it,
or man, he said he paying the fee.
that's right. If you want it, man, you'll find a way.
Early mornings, late nights. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sure does, man. Sure does. And look, it's a recipe for success. I'll tell you that. So hey, keep doing what you've been doing, man. Keep that confidence, man. Don't let nobody take it, because there's nothing wrong with having supreme confidence backed by hard work. So your confidence comes because you work 70 hours a week, and then after that you go work out, and then you come home, and then you meal prep, and then you right back up over and over and over. So it's not that you're being cocky. That's just me living exactly what I'm saying and then saying it with confidence. And there's nothing wrong with that. So keep that. You know, I wish you nothing but the best. Anybody else you want to shout out?
Definitely my opposing coach, my Anton Witherspoon. Those last.
Man, we ain't shouting him out, man. Get him out of here, man.
Spoon, are you done competing? I think Spoon is retired. I think he's retired.
No. Don't count him out. Don't count him
Well,
out.
I saw him this past weekend. It looked like he stopped working out.
Yeah,
So,
man.
you still training?
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there. My coach Zach, man, hands down, he has definitely taken me to another level in this bodybuilding thing. I come with hard work. I brought hard work to the table before I got to Zach, and he just took what I had and intensified it even more. And I feel like him and I together, I think we'll have a really successful future in this industry, this sport. I mean, I want to do some big things, and I feel like I got a great group of people standing behind me to help me accomplish these things. And I will pay it forward when the time comes. They will not be forgotten. My wife, she meal preps. She stays up as late as I do. She gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and makes sure I'm eating oats and chicken and hate it, but she pushes me when I want a little snack. I'm headed toward the wheat thins and the peanut butter. She stops me. She says, "Hey, you better get out of the wheat thins." So small
And in
things like
turn,
that.
you only got to hand over every check you ever got, right?
That's right.
Sounds like a good deal.
That's right.
Hey, man, good talking
having
to
a
you,
good
man.
group, a solid support group definitely helps.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, if you're hearing what he's saying all the right things, man, and that's the reason why, I don't see anything but success happening in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
So, man,
When he said that schedule, George, I have no doubt that if it's not 2020, 2021, this guy will be at the Olympia. To be able to do that, because I mean, any of you guys who've been in construction, welder, any of you blue collar guys who are laboring, you are on your feet and on a move
Hard work, man.
all day long.
Non-stop.
That is a grind.
I can tell you, checking in with Zach before the show, and he's like, I'm on location, and he's like, I need you to send me some pictures 2 hours after you eat. So I'm taking my shirt off on location in the middle of nowhere in the Porta John, having to send him updated pictures. And these construction workers, these welders, they're out there like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Nobody's going to say that it's 6'2",
It doesn't matter
guy.
what I'm doing.
Right.
That's what you tell them.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, man. Definitely great having you on, man. Definitely going to see you down the line. Definitely appreciate you. Like I said, wish you nothing but the best. For myself, Patrick, for Mandus, for the King's Court, another great episode, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.